Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulihi al-kareem. Wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Okay, so haven't revisited the Sealed Nectar for a while. Felt like doing it today. We've gone quite into the book. We're almost done with it. It's a cute little pocket version. Put it in your pocket. Read it. Alright, so we are on the chapter that's titled The Compensatory Umrah, Lesser Pilgrimage. The Dhul Qa'dah month approached towards the close of the 7th year AH. The Prophet, peace be upon him, ordered his people and the men who witnessed Al-Hudaybiyah truce treaty in particular to make preparations to perform Umrah, the lesser pilgrimage. The Prophet, peace be upon him, left Uwayf bin al-Adbat ad-Daylami, or Abu Rum al-Ghifari, may Allah be pleased with him, in charge of Medina. Oh, look at that. So, never heard of this guy. Uwaif, Uwayf bin al-Adbat ad-Daylami. Wow. He was so trusted, he got to take care of Medina, look at that. And proceeded with 2,000 men besides some women and children, and 60 camels for sacrifice. So look at that, 60 camels for sacrifice. So, when you hear these vegan Muslims say that the Prophet was semi-vegetarian, this would be a good example of he wasn't a, Hindu guru. He was not a pacifist, hippie, woke vegan who was Buddhistic in nature and wouldn't eat meat or sacrifice an animal. Okay? He literally has, as we have seen in the past, offered animal sacrifice himself, done the job himself, has eaten meat, and now has animals coming with him for that purpose as well. So, just another way of correcting people who are trying to create the Prophet, peace be upon him, in this very strange, kind of squishy, soft, weird way. To visit the holy sanctuary in Mecca, the Muslims took their weapons with them, fearing the treachery of the Qurayshites. So here, took their weapons for self-defense. So, not only is he having weapons to be prepared for any crazy people, right? But he's also bringing animals along for human sacrifice. So he's pro self-defense of weapons, pro meat eating, right? He's not gonna cry over an animal being skinned, people getting fed protein. He's not gonna cry over that. But left them with a party of 200 men at a place some 8 miles from Mecca. They entered the city with the swords in their scabbards, with the Prophet, peace be upon him, at their head on his she-camel, Al-Kaswa, while the surrounding companions, attentively focusing their look on him, all saying, "Here I am, at your service, O Allah." The Qurayshites had left the place and retired to their tents at the adjoining hills. The Muslims performed the usual circumambulation vigorously and smartly. And on the recommendation by the Prophet, peace be upon him, they did their best to appear strong and firm in their circumambulation. So notice, appearing strong and firm. It's not just like, oh, afraid, oh, just keep bending, just keep letting them shun us and just cower in fear and give them your other cheek to beat down on, but to appear with vigor and strength, honor and dignity, fortitude. As the polytheists had spread rumors that they were weak because the fever of Yathrib, Medina, oh, look at that, had drained their strength. Wow, so there was some sort of fever going on. So not only did he want to appear, full of vigor in front of his enemies, but because there was some illness going on, and his opponents would try to use that as a leverage against their forces. Very smart to appear strong, and they were strong in such a way. They were ordered to run in the first 3 rounds and then walk in the remaining ones. I didn't know you could run. The Meccans, meanwhile, aligned on the top of Mount Ku'aikian, watching the Muslims tongue-tied as witnessing their strength and devotion. When they entered the holy sanctuary, Abdullah bin Rawaha, may Allah be pleased with him, walked before the Prophet, peace be upon him, reciting, "Get out of his way, you disbelievers. Make way. We will fight you about its revelation with strokes that will remove heads from shoulders and make friends unmindful of friend." After ritual walking and running between the 2 hills of Mecca, Safa and Marwa, oh yeah, I remember reading about those in the tafsir, the Prophet, peace be upon him, with the Muslims halted at the latter spot to slaughter the sacrificial animals and shave their heads. So here, if you're doing Umrah and you want to do it like the Prophet, peace be upon him, slaughtering the sacrificial animals appears to be very part of that. Very interesting. And for people who get afraid of animal pelts, I see them sometimes in my comments, kind of freaks me out. You have to wonder, you do realize you can make leather from them, fur, brushes, stuffing for your pillow, blankets, scarves, a comfortable cushion for your saddle. You can make a lot of different things. A nice rug for your feet, rug for your dog. There's a lot you can do. Don't waste anything. You're going to use the meat, might as well take off the pelt real nice and use it. Recycling. The main body of the pilgrims had now performed the basic rites of the Umrah, but there remained those who were entrusted the charge of weapons. So notice there's people here who are guarding the weapons. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, showed strength and firmness against his enemies. He also encouraged everyone else to be strong, sacrificed animals, carried weapons, left his companion Abu Rum al-Ghifari, aka Uwayf bin al-Adbat ad-Dilami, in charge of the sanctuary. No, sorry, not the sanctuary, Medina. So he had someone whom he trusted. Now you see, he's trusting somebody to take care of the weapons. So he has people around him who he can truly rely on. Imagine trusting someone to govern for you in your absence, who's not going to usurp you. Trusting someone to hold your weapons, who's not going to hold them and let your enemies slaughter you. You see what I'm saying? He has those kinds of people whom he can trust around him. It's very, very noble. Very amazing. The Prophet, peace be upon him, had these relieved, and they went through the same devotions as others did. On the morning of the 4th day, the notables of Quraysh asked Ali bin Abi Talib, may Allah be pleased with him, to tell the Prophet, peace be upon him, to leave Mecca, along with his companions. He, of course, could not consider the violation of the terms of Al-Hudaybiyah. Therefore, he ordered his men to depart for a village called Sarif, where he stayed for some time. Okay, in the village called Sarif. S-A-R-I-F. Oh, right. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah is really cool to read about what they agreed upon, how, such political affairs were conducted. Ali's there, got food on the way. They went between Safa and Marwa, those 2 hills at Mecca. Pretty cool that they could have at times run. I don't think you can do that today because there's so many people. They might get trampled. But it is quite cool to read that there was once a time when people ran. You learn something new every day. Hope you have a great Ramadan.